Alright, lesson 5.5, proportional and non-proportional relationships. So a proportion is two quantities that have a constant ratio or rate. And what a constant of proportionality means, alright, is that the constant ratio is in simplest terms. So for example, the total cost, alright, is $6, $9, $12, $3. How many wristbands can you get for that? So if you get 4 wristbands for $6, or you can get 6 for $9, or 8 for $12. If you reduce all of those, if you reduce 6 to 4, you get 3 to 2. If you reduce 9 to 6, you get 3 to 2. If you reduce 12 to 8, you get 3 to 2. Everything there is the same. Alright, those are all equal. They all, in simplest terms, are 3 to 2. That is the constant of proportionality. Now, non-proportional is relationships in which the ratios or rates are not constant. Alright, they don't have the same simplified fraction. So if you take the total cost, let me just write it out here. If you take the total cost of the number of necklaces, alright, and reduce 6 to 4, you're going to get 3 over 2. If you take 10 over 5, well, 10 divided by 5 is 2. Those are not equal. And if you take 15 over 6, let's see, you would get 5 over 2. Those are not equal. None of those are equal, so all of those would be non-proportional. So here's an example for you. We've got to determine whether the cost of coffee is proportional to the number of pounds. If the relationship is proportional, then identify the constant of proportionality. Explain your reasoning. Now, let me give you a little hint. Always put the cost first, alright? We should have talked about that in class. But 3, oops, I need my, I need my pen. Alright, so we've got 3 to 1, which is just going to be 3. So is that the same as 6 over 2? Is that the same as 9 to 3? Is that the same as 12 to 4? Now we want to keep these as ratios, right? So 3 to 1 is just 3. We're going to keep that as a fraction, 3 over 1. Simplify 6 over 2. Divide by 2 with both the numerator and denominator, and you're going to get 3 over 1. Those are the same. Take 9 divided by 3, you get 3. You get 3 over 1. Take 12 over 4. If we divide by 4, we're going to get 3 over 1. Every single time, these are the same. So yes, this is proportional, and our constant of proportionality would be 3 over 1. Alright, explain our reasoning. Our work, our simplifying is the reasoning, or we could simply say, when we break this down to simplest terms, everything is 3 to 1. Alright, we're going to start practicing writing some equations, and the equations are going to come in the form of y equals kx, where k is the constant ratio, or the constant of proportionality. That's the only number that we're going to have to change. We just need to find that constant ratio and replace k with that number. Alright, it's always going to be y equals, and we're going to be multiplying it by x. So, for example, the cost for 2.5 pounds of meat is $7.20. Find the constant of proportionality. Alright, we're going into our simplest terms. We're basically finding the unit rate. Then write an equation relating cost to pounds and how much would 4 pounds cost. Alright, so we can do this. Ready? Very first thing I want to do is I want to find the constant of proportionality. Alright, break it down. So, again, cost is always going to go first, you guys. Alright, it's always cost to pound. It even shows you that. Cost to pounds. Put your cost first. So it's $7.20 for 2.5 pounds. Break that down to 1 pound. So I'm dividing by 2.5. So divide by 2.5, not 25, 2.5. And you get $2.88 for 1 pound of meat. Alright, so write an equation for that. Here's our equation. Y equals K times X. K is our constant of proportionality. That's what we just found. So we're going to replace K with $2.88 times X. So now the last part, how much will 4 pounds cost? Well, if 1 pound costs $2.88, how much does 4 pounds cost? You probably already know how to use this equation. It's going to be $2.88 times 4 pounds. So if we multiply that out, we're going to get $11.52 for 4 pounds. Alright, so the equation's not as bad as you might think they are. Alright, so we're going to spend a lot of time doing this in class. Alright, I will see you then.